Nano Banana Pro is insane for making AI ads. With just a couple hours of my time, I've made this Nike ad, and in this video I will break down how I did it.
Crowd on their feet. This free throw would cut the lead to 1. LeBron takes a breath. The shot is up. Ronaldo with a chance to change everything here. Dead center.
Serena, serving for the game. She tosses the ball. And she scores the point! Serena Williams wins the championship!
Ronaldo scores! LeBron got it! LeBron James just made history!
So I've always been inspired by athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, and Serena Williams. So now that we have the pro version of Nano Banana with way sharper details, insane prompt adherence, and also better character consistency, I just knew it was now the time to make this advertisement. If we combine Nano Banana with a tool like Kling AI, then it can make for some insane animations. So let me just start by breaking this down. Now, the first step to getting started with your AI generations is storyboarding. So for this idea, I got inspired by Nike, and you know how great their campaigns around their athletes are. So I wanted to choose like 3 different athletes. We have LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Serena Williams. Now for each of them, they all have their own iconic thing. You know, we have Cristiano Ronaldo with the and we have LeBron James with his like cheering, and then we have Serena Williams with our iconic cheer when she wins with tennis. I want to have them all looked in, I want to have close-ups, but I also want to have somewhat of a transition in between them. And that transition can be done in the form of the ball, because all of them have the ball sport in common. So we're using the basketball to transform into the football, and then we have the football transforming into the tennis ball. Now, using this idea that I already had in mind, I tried to enhance it using a bit of ChatGPT. You can do so in any LLM that you find necessary. ChatGPT works perfect for this. So I wrote down everything that I had and I instructed it to break down different scenes, different shots, and it came up with different ideas that I haven't thought about. Then it comes down to visualizing your storyboard. So for this, we're going to use Nano Banana Pro, and I'm using Higgsfield for this. So if you want to try this out yourself, I will leave the link for Higgsfield in the description down below. It has Nano Banana Pro and all the other tools that you need in order to get started with your AI generations. For the first shot, I want to start with a body shot of him looking locked in as he is about to make a free throw. So for the first prompt, I went with this, a dramatic front angle portrait of LeBron James during a focused free throw. He's wearing the yellow Lakers jersey, his eyes are locked in the arena lights, and basically I'm adding a whole lot of different details. So anything you want to have in there to make it more realistic, you can add that in there. So with the last part of this prompt, I added in what camera this shot was taken on. So I used a bit of ChatGPT for this. I asked it what is a good lens to describe the shot that I want, and then it came up with this. So we're using a Sony A7R and we're using rich bokeh, which is very important for this shot. And then it captures the crisp facial detail. It has a dark moody aesthetic and we have deep contrast. So that is the first prompt that we're doing to kind of like make our character. We don't even have to add in a reference image because Nano Banana Pro understands who these characters are and like it knows, like it's scary, but it knows. Besides that, you want to make sure you're using the new version of Nano Banana Pro, then 16:9, and then I choose to go with 4K, so it's already upscaled. And then right now you can use the unlimited mode, which is a bit slower, but it is free, so then you can generate. Now that shot gave me this image, and this is pretty much the start image that we'll be using for the rest as kind of like a reference image. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get a close-up of his eyes. And I find with these ads, like seeing the focus that you see in those athletes, if you can capture that, then it's golden. Now using that image, I added it into the prompt bar as a reference, and then I gave it the following prompt. An extreme close-up of LeBron James' eyes locked in focus during a free throw. The sweat is glistering on his skin, arena lights sharply reflected on his pupils, ultra shallow depth of field isolating the eyes with a creamy bokeh. I know a lot of details there. If you want to see and read all of my prompts, then make sure to join my community, because in that community I share all of the prompts. Plus, it's a good way to hang out and it's free. So what's stopping you? Now, the insane thing about Nano Banana is how good and detailed it looks. We can see all the pores, we can see the veins in his eyes, we can see the sweat glistering, the lights, even the reflection. Honestly, yeah, this is crazy. So now that we have the close-up, it's time to have a shot on the ball. So here I have made this exact shot right here. How I did it was as followed: a medium close-up shot from the waist only, and he has a basketball firmly in his hands. So basically we have 3 shots right now. Now it's time to make another close-up of the basketball. And yeah, I just completed the exact same process what I've done before. You just gotta think about all the different angles that you want to have the AI to see, and then you add in the details. So these are the images that I made for LeBron James. Now, I did the exact same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo, and then again I did the same thing with Serena Williams. All of these different images are our generations that we're gonna use right now in our video part. Now that we've made all of these generations, it's time to animate them. So in this next part, I will show you 3 different types of animations. We have these simple animations, which are just close-ups, which are very static videos. Then we have more motion-based videos, where we have our character taking an action. And then lastly, we have the transitions. This is by far the hardest part. So let me start off simple with the close-ups. So now we're switching over to video. Now we keep this on general, but I'm using Kling 2.5 Turbo. It has both start and end frame, which we will be using later. But for now, we're just using the start frame. So you import your start frame right here, and then you describe what you want to have happen. Now for the prompt, I'm using this: focused eyes, blinking once, looking at the same place. Sweat is like dripping down from one eye, and we have some very subtle skin shimmer from the sweat. Keep the camera almost still with a slight natural handheld motion. I'm just like instructing how I would love to have my cameraman take this shot, but the cameraman is the AI, of course. So I hit generate and it gave me a result like this. So the blink is not that powerful, but you can generate this a couple of different times to get exactly what you want. Now, I did the same exact thing with Cristiano Ronaldo, but this time I added in some heavy breathing. Because if you know Cristiano Ronaldo, right before he takes his free kick, he does that heavy breathing. And looking at this result, I'm like super pleased with how it turned out. Like we can see him weighing in his options like, oh, am I going for the right post, left post? Let me take a deep breath and let's go for it. So for Serena Williams, I did the exact same thing. She's a bit more locked in and she's waiting to return that like smash that someone passed to her. So that is one of the easy shots, which is the close-up of the eyes. Now let's do a bit more difficult. This time we're creating motion. And depending on what your character is doing, it could be pretty easy or it could be super hard. Like having Cristiano Ronaldo play football, for example. It's pretty hard. For LeBron James, after a few tries, I got this result. This is perfect if you make some cuts to your video. The other shot that I did on him was rotating the ball in his hands a little bit. And this is perfect as well. Another thing that works pretty well is giving this prompt. Animate the player lifting the ball slightly higher and releasing it in a smooth controlled shooting motion. So if we play this again, I mean, this looks like kind of like a slow-mo of him actually taking the shot. That works pretty well. For Cristiano Ronaldo, I struggled a little bit because some of the motion that I wanted him to do just didn't quite work. So I ended up with a shot like this, where he's walking backwards, like he's actually gonna take the free kick. And this worked really well. Now for Serena Williams, I also had no trouble making a shot like that. Let me now show you the most difficult part, which is making the transitions. In this case, we're using the ball as an object that can transform or morph into something else. So we will have the basketball transform into a football and the football transform into a tennis ball. And we're also trying to blend in the different scenes that belong with each of those sports. So for this shot right here is I took 2 different frames. So let me just show you. I took this frame as the first frame. Then I took the ball at Ronaldo's feet as the last frame. And then I gave it a prompt where I described what I want to have happen from the first frame to the second frame. And the camera is constantly following the ball and it keeps it centered. Now this is very important because that makes it for the transition. I also mentioned a few specific things because I had a few wrong generations. Like I'm telling it to not let the ball go left or backwards and to keep the motion smooth and steady. And that actually helped with this first generation. The other transition that I'm not too proud of right now, which need a bit of tweaking, but I might do this after this recording, recording is this one. So I'm just gonna show you honestly, like this is what happens. Sometimes the AI will glitch a little bit. So he shoots and like, just from judging like this, he completely missed the target. The morphing or the transition is quite nice, so I still went with it. So then she caught it in her hand and I used that last frame. So I took a screenshot of this and then I used this last frame in the next part. So this is how I continued it. She has the ball in her hand and then the camera looks at her. Pretty cool, right? If you combine all of the shots that I just shown you, then you can make a pretty cool ad. And I've just done this with professional athletes. You can do this with any type of character that you want. It doesn't have to be anything sports related. Just take this as an inspiration and try to experiment. If you want to try this out yourself, then I will leave a link to Higgsfield. I believe they have unlimited generation on Nano Banana Pro right now, which is pretty cool. And also, I would love to see your AI generation. So please drop them in my community and let's chat about them and see how we can learn from each other. Now, if you want to figure out what the best all-in-one AI tool is for you, then click the video that's on the screen right now, where I compare each and every one of these tools and I will tell you which one is worth it to invest.
All right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says you from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm, and now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.